Good evening, everyone. This is Srikanth Rajan, and welcome back to the Market Pulse. This is the program from MPI Invest where we discuss about what happened last week and what is expected out of the market next week. We had some issues with the camera the last few days, so I have just changed the camera. Of course, there are some difference in the frame rate on this camera, I guess. This is more of a basic camera. But I'm just trying to understand, is it the problem with camera or not? So we'll be having this camera for a few days. Let's see how it works. Well, coming back to market, where the market was absolutely in a complete bullish mode. So that was something seen. We could see major, movements from mainly the banking sector stocks. We'll of course discuss about stock-wise details, especially the important stocks at least, and also what happened in the market. But before we start the program, do remember, if you have any questions, you can type it out on the live chat section here, or even you can drop down your questions at the comment section, and we will answer that in the next live. So we do have a live podcast every market trading day. So, if you put your questions today, it will be answered tomorrow. So do ensure that you post it there, and if you're there on the live chat, of course your questions can be taken during the program itself. So now coming to what happened last week. So we were all expecting basically the consumer price index. That is nothing but the inflation data that was awaited for not only India but across the US as well. So US was of course expected, to be coming down. Similarly, India also was expected to coming down. So India's inflation came in at 5.66%, which was well below the RBI's target of 6%. So that was a great news. And we could see the market actually kind of taking that as a cheer. But then next day, we could also see the US CPI data coming in, and that also came in lower than what was expectation. But of course, in the US, the interest rates are still much higher than their regular comfort levels. But along with that, what has happened is the market has gone into a fear that the US is actually getting into a recession. So with all this, US market have continued to be really volatile, and that volatility seen in Indian market as well. Now, in India, as far as India is concerned, we really don't have so much problems like the US. But of course, because the US market is kind of controlling the world markets, so everybody looks up to US. So if US has trouble, then entire global markets will have trouble as well. So that's something that's happening right now. So apart from that, if you look at, because of the US recession fears, the oil prices have been coming down. Basically, that demand, they're expecting that if the market, if US goes into a recession, there might be lesser requirement of oil, and because of that, the demand might come down. Because of that, naturally, the prices are coming down, which is actually a good thing for India. So if you look at all these things are actually favorable for India. But then, of course, India as a market cannot travel or rally alone when the global markets are not doing great. So what other things is affecting India is something that we will discuss now. Now, if you look at something interesting, there was interesting data that said that India, if you look at the last year, 22-23, their trade has actually risen by almost 8% with US, whereas it has come down by almost 1.5% with China. So this is not only the case with India, but across the world as well. People are actually looking for an alternative to China, especially after COVID. So there is China plus one strategy kind of thing, where every manufacturer is kind of looking for an alternative source for manufacturing and getting their raw materials or even production done. And what better place than India for that? So that's exactly what is kind of fueling India at this point of time, especially the manufacturing sector in India, I would say. And that is absolutely good for the upcoming few years in India. So now talking to some stock specific news. Basically, if you remember, the week started off with JLR, Jaguar Land Rover, actually reporting a good sales for the last quarter. So this is actually a very good news, because if you are aware, Tata Motors as a company has been very profitable in the last few years, especially the last 2 years, I would say. Especially the sales has gone up, and Tata today is competing among the top 3 positions in India. So with all that, Tata has been doing good, but the major thing that was pulling down Tata stock was the JLR, because JLR has been in losses, and many a time Indian company would have to fund the JLR company. So as Chinese economy is recovering, because JLR has a big market share in China. So as Chinese economy is recovering, JLR sales have also gone up, and that kind of boosted Tata Motors, and we could see a big rise in Tata Motors this week. In fact, on the day the JLR data came, Tata Motors was up by almost 5%. Apart from that, if you look at Titan is another favorite stock of ours. Because Titan also announced that their sales have actually gone up, though the numbers are yet to come. They also have announced opening of more than 100 new centers across the country, and which gave positivity to Titan. So Titan, though has not moved big, but of course is doing decently well in our portfolio. Apart from that, if you look at banks, so banks are something, this is where we have to focus, because Bank of Baroda came in with their results. In fact, the results were really good. And next day we could see the bank Nifty going up, mainly powered by the PSU banks, mainly I would say SBI. So in fact, not only that, SBI also had a news, because they were going on fundraising. So they were expecting to raise almost $2 billion, which was something again great. Supporting this, we could see the bank Nifty getting some power, and we could see, I think in last 1 week or so, bank Nifty was up by almost 3 to 4%. So that's kind of powering banks. Similarly, HDFC Bank also came out saying that they are also going to raise about 50,000 crores, which is again great news for HDFC Bank. So along with that, both these, so private as well as the PSU banks have started doing well. Now at this point of time, especially when the interest rates are higher, naturally the banks are, they tend to do well. And not only that, if you see, like we've discussed earlier, the infrastructure and capital expenditures, from these companies, a lot of companies have aligned their capital expenditure in the upcoming financial year, and that is going to definitely drive the banks higher. So not only banks, it can be the NBFCs as well. So that's exactly why we have kind of some focused portfolio that side. By the way, let me remind you, if you're not a part of MPI family, I am not a SEBI registered analyst, but I am sharing all this for the benefit of all of us. That is for me as well as all of us in the community, because we discuss, learn and invest together to make money. So now coming to next important part, there was a report from JSW Steel that their production has actually hit their highest ever crude steel production. So that is something really good, and we could see most of the metal stocks which were in kind of a hibernation mode starting move up. One of them is of course Hindalco, where we already have some good investment, and that also started moving well at this point of time. So that is something good. Apart from that, if you look at the next important thing, it was the results. So in results, major results of course that we were waiting for, the first one was of course TCS, Tata Consulting Services. So naturally we were expecting the results not to be great, of course, but the BFSI, banking, financial services and insurance companies not doing great in the US, especially because TCS or Infosys or HCL Tech, these are major players in the BFSI section. So when the banks in US started getting into crisis, naturally the fear of IT sector getting affected in India, because Indian IT sector is more of a service oriented business. So because of that, of course, the IT sector was already, before that, if you see after Corona, IT sector had actually rallied so much that there was a big fall after the rise as profit booking kicked in. But after that, as BFSI sector in the US also started, doing bad, TCS or in most of the Indian service industry related IT companies were supposed to be affected. So similarly here, TCS also had a similar effect, where TCS results were not great, I would say, but I would still not say bad, because in this kind of situation also they have actually come out with decent results. But then I would say the guidance for the next quarter was not that great, so that kind of gives a negativity to the market, and we could see TCS as well as Infosys actually falling in the day. Apart from that, we could also see that Infosys results came in, but first Infosys results came in the next day after the market closed on Thursday. So their results also have come in similar lines with TCS, which is not great. In fact, if you look at the Infosys ADRs in the US, they are actually trading down by almost 9%. That means we could see a major gap down opening in Infosys tomorrow. However, one thing that I expect is Infosys might open close to its 52-week low tomorrow. If that happens, there are chances that some buying can come in. However, we'll have to see when the Infosys stocks are going to settle on the bottom, when I would actually invest more. I'm actually holding a good amount of Infosys shares in my hand. Now, this news does not mean that Infosys is going for a toss and they're going to close. No, this is a temporary phase. So, like I've told you earlier, in my experience, a company which is fundamentally strong, especially like Infosys, if it's falling down, it would be more of an opportunity to buy than sell. So I would only look at adding some more Infosys over a period of time as the market kind of settles down. Of course, I will be sharing it in the community when I do that. If you're not a part of the community, do join the community. All you need to do is send us a WhatsApp message on the number given here, and our team will help you join the community. So apart from that, if you look at Infosys results, we also had HDFC Bank result, which is the next major thing. So HDFC Bank results also came with decent returns. In fact, they are doing good. If you look at year on year, that is FY 21-22 and 22-23. 22-23 business actually profit have actually gone higher. So if you look at the entire year, HDFC Bank profits have gone higher. But then if you look at the last quarter, January to March quarter, compared with the previous quarter, Q3, right? That is October, November and December. So October to December quarter and January to March quarter, if you look at, we've actually, HDFC Bank has kind of slowed down slightly. But overall, for the entire year, financial year, HDFC results are actually good. Now, something important to note here, their net income from interest actually has gone up. So it was like last year about 1,15,000 crores, and this year it's come to 1,18,000 crores. So it is actually again a positive, but of course it is slightly missing out, compared to market expectation. But overall, it is good. When net interest income is going up, it is actually a good sign for a bank for which the major income should be actually coming from the interest. So that is something good. The deposits have grown, so that's also great. But I would say this is again a temporary phase. We should be actually seeing these banks also coming up. So with these two results coming, tomorrow, definitely the Nifty itself is going to be seen as opening gap down. And from there, how the market is going to react is something important. But like I've told you earlier also, the first day after results is not a great indicator. So I kind of feel that even if Infosys opens gap down, there are chances it can try to recover slightly. And then what happens by closing of the day tomorrow is more important for Infosys, because if it closes in the negative, there would be more chances of further fall in the Infosys stock. So that I actually focus. Similarly, if you look at HDFC Bank, it is very close to 52-week high right now. So will it break out from here or will it consolidate at this place is the next important thing to see. So if HDFC Bank actually tries to move up, there are chances the negativity given by Infosys to the Nifty can be some kind of set off to certain level. So that can actually be important thing to watch. So apart from that, if you look at US, what happened in the US, we could see the major banks like JP Morgan, Citigroup and the Wells Fargo coming out with the results. And the best part is all three have come out with good results. So naturally, we could see the banking sector actually rising in the US. And if you see, JP Morgan was up by almost 7% in the day. So with all that, banking sector is looking good in the US. So with all this, if that kind of gives a positive sentiment in the India as well, we could expect the banking sector to kind of move up some more from here. So that is something that happened for this week. Now coming to what can be expected for next week, of course, not much events except for some important results. So if you look at the important results that are coming up for this week, I would say the first one would start off with Wednesday, where we have LT and LTI coming out with their results on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, we have HCL Tech and IndusInd Bank coming out with the results. Naturally, LTI or HCL Tech may not be doing great, but somehow I have a feeling that HCL results may not be that bad. So that's something that we look forward to. Apart from that, the major result that we'll be focused on is on Friday, which is Reliance, the #1 top heavyweight in the Nifty 50 index. So Reliance results are going to be so and so, I would say not great, not bad. But if it gives some surprises, the actually market is going to see some big movements. So naturally, next week also we will not be holding any trade in the gold and gold plus sector, because the results would be coming on Friday, and Friday is again a market holiday, and we have a long weekend next week also. So I'm sure all of you at the market should be enjoying this long weekends, because the last 2 Fridays also was holiday. So tomorrow, this week also, the Friday's holiday. So basically, as clients' results are going to come after the market close for this week, market will be kind of cautious for this week as well. So with all these events, I am kind of expecting Nifty to kind of consolidate because it's had a very good rally at this point. It has actually gone up by almost 200 points from where it closed. So last week, last Sunday when we were discussing, Nifty was close to 17,600. And from there, it has now moved to around 17,800. So it's slightly above 17,800. So I would say it's at a very good resistance level. 17,800 to 18,000 is a important resistance to break. So it is not going to be easy. So I am expecting the Nifty to kind of take a break from bullishness and probably look at more of a sideways movement for now. So with that, the range that I'm expecting for Nifty to trade within this week, I would say would be around 17,500 to 18,000. So this is the range that I'm expecting Nifty to kind of trade between in this week. Naturally, markets are going to be volatile. Along with that, US markets are going to be volatile again because important results like Microsoft and Alphabet is nothing but Google. Both these results are coming on Tuesday, and Wednesday we have Meta, that is Facebook results coming, and on Thursday we have Amazon results. So naturally, all these companies, especially if you see of late, Meta and Microsoft both have kind of announced second round of layoff. Alphabet is also in similar lines. So with all this, US markets are also going to be volatile in the upcoming week. So naturally, when the markets have risen so much in the past week, it is kind of okay for the markets to kind of consolidate. So I would say it would be good for the market to consolidate, and that could be a good opportunity for option sellers. But unfortunately, the VIX is kind of close to its all-time low, almost close to 12. So that is something not great for option sellers. So premiums are too low to actually trade in the market. So this is for traders. Of course, things are not going to be easy for time being, but until the VIX kind of rises, option sellers are going to find it a little difficult. So that's it for now. So like I've told you, the major results are the only thing to be looked at. And if you look at China, yes, China GDP data is going to come on Tuesday. So that is not going to affect us much, but of course that's only a data probably we can look at talking for the upcoming week, I would say. So that's it for now. I don't see any questions in the live chat. So of course, if you have any other questions, you can post it in the comment section. So we will take that question for tomorrow. So that's it for now. MPI family members, let us meet in the Google Meet on the link that you have. And others, if you're not a part of MPI community, do join us soon. It's completely free. All you need to do is go to this WhatsApp message number given here and send a message. Our team will help you join the community. So that's it for now. But before we leave, do remember to press the like button if you love the content that we share. And I'm sure this Market Pulse video would help you understand in brief, quickly about what's happening in the market and what's expected out of the market. So if you look at the future, of course, looks like banking sector is going to do well, at least at this point of time, and also infrastructure sector is going to do well. IT sector is going to have some pressure for some time, but then of course that will also recover. So if you don't have a good investments in IT, probably this could be a time to go on a SIP mode. Well, this is not a recommendation. This is what I am planning to do. That's it for now. Have a great week ahead. This is Srikanth Iyer signing off until we catch up tomorrow morning on the Daily Market Report. Goodbye. Have a great week.